here at the University of Alberta for the Juxtapositions WGA Annual Conference. Come check it out. So here's the registration table with the lovely Georgia, where people come to sign up, pick up the program, and grab a name tag. Yes! Here at the annual conference, it's a chance for writers from all across Alberta to gather and share their writing, share their experiences, and really celebrate excellence of writing in Alberta. We're here at the Maple Leaf Room, waiting for the keynote speaker to start, so it's a chance for us to interview some audience members, some guests, and some speakers, and just get a good sampling of who all comes to the conference. There's a lot of cool sessions going on, from sessions on poetry and short stories, and it's really going to be a good time for everyone.
I wanted to acknowledge that our conference is taking place on Treaty 6 land.
We're here with Ellen, the communications coordinator for the Writers Guild of Alberta. Can you give us a bit of an overview of what's going on this weekend?
Wow, there's so much going on this weekend. We have we start with a keynote address, and then we've got breakout sessions in the afternoon where we've got a discussion about literature and the political. We've got a short story session. We've got a YA session, and then we've got our gala Saturday night, which will feature all of the Alberta Literary Awards. And then Sunday we have our AGM. We've got a couple of keynote addresses, and we've got a Blue Pencil Cafe in the afternoon.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Which of these would you say you're most excited about?
All of them. My part, I get so excited about the awards gala because what it really showcases is the absolute amazing generosity of the Alberta writing community. You see all the nominees for a particular award sitting together at the table, and it doesn't matter, any one of them could win because they're all such good submissions. But out of the three that are nominated, the other two will be as excited for the winner as they would be for themselves. And that, to me, typifies what this community really is like.
Promoting your work like never before. In my case, that would just count as promoting your work. I really need to do that more. Promote your work, it's really important. What do you most enjoy out of these conferences?
I think my number one favorite thing is seeing my friends, fellow writers, and in some cases people that I haven't seen for some time, and doing lots of hugging.
How long have you been a member of the Writers Guild of Alberta?
I just joined 2 weeks ago.
Oh, excellent. So this is, I assume, your first time coming to the conference.
Yes, it is.
All right. What are you excited to see here?
Well, I think just what some of the authors are doing and I guess thinking and
Okay.
I guess some what it's all about.
The crow made a sound like a rusty hinge opening.
Did you guys ever hear that saying, I wrote a novel because I didn't have time to write a short story?
Yes.
One of the things I struggled with is I too was moving from the short story form and only dealing in short stories and then suddenly going to write a novel. How have you adjusted your writing practices and your writing routine in order to adjust to the different style? Did you have to spend a lot of time researching? Did you have to completely change the way you went about writing it?
I think my routine has stayed basically the same. Like I write in the mornings most days, and that's about it. That's my routine. I don't have like word count that I try to hit. I just try to do a couple of hours or 3 hours a day. I've always needed to do research for the stories as well, so that has stayed the same. But just the approach, like I basically, when I write a short story, I feel like I'm always asking, what doesn't need to be here? And now when I'm writing a novel, I'm always just like diving back in, going in again, saying, what else could add richness to this? What else do we need to know? What else will move the story forward? So it's like almost a completely different, feels like a reversal of what I did before.
What are you planning to attend?
I would like to attend the event about politics, like writing and politics. That combination is really intriguing to me. I'm having a bit of a dilemma because the writing and politics appeals and the yoga appeals too.
Yeah, it's hard to choose between those two things. If only there was politics and yoga,
Oh my God,
then you could get everything.
Perfect.
You've You worked a lot with groups in Edmonton such as LitFest and 18 Bridges to help foster Edmonton's writing community. How has Edmonton's writing community grown in the recent years?
I've been in Edmonton for 11 years, and in those 11 years, Edmonton's writing community has always been extraordinarily welcoming. I think less cutthroat and more unifying than it is in other cities. I have seen this phenomenon in Edmonton play out where a writer from an outside city moves to Edmonton. Maybe they got a residency or job as a professor, or maybe they're following their spouse to the city, and they just send out a couple of emails, messages to other writers in the community, and immediately they are welcomed in, and they're making friends, and they're part of the networking events and the social events that bring us all together, and I think strengthen the literary community in the city. So has that changed? I don't know, but for the 11 years that I've lived in the city, that's how it's always felt, and I think that's much of my story too. I came here from Vancouver, and it just immediately I felt embraced.
How long have you been a member of the WGA?
Since 2009.
Have you been to an annual conference before?
I go every single year. The 1 year I missed was when my daughter was graduating from university.
That seems like a legitimate excuse.
Thank you.
What do you enjoy most when you come to these conferences?
I think the discussions that happen in the hallways, that happen over lunch. The sessions are great. Panelists are often really interesting. So interesting that they kind of spark things that need to spill over. And it's getting engaged in those conversations afterwards that I find most stimulating.
How do these conferences affect the growth of Alberta writing?
Well, I can't speak in terms of figures, except to observe that I think our membership has steadily grown over certainly the last 15 years or so. For me, it's huge. And actually, I joined the Writers Guild at a point where I was trying to decide whether to stay in Alberta or not. I was coming here for a sabbatical, and it was definitely a factor in my decision to go to the first conference I attended and see that there was a really vibrant and open writing community here, that people welcomed me, that people talked to each other across genres, and that there was just a sense of mutual respect and a community that you could slide right into.
We're here at the end of the first day of the annual conference. We went to a couple sessions, learned a lot about writing short stories, about how to include and talk about politics in your writing, and how important it is to think about the stories that you're telling and whether or not it's the right story to be telling and how to go about doing so. So we're gonna come back again tomorrow and do some more of this. What are you most excited about in the conference? What did you think about Todd Babiak's keynote presentation? Speechless.